Amanda, a bill heading to Governor J.B. Pritzker's desk is causing controversy in a village outside of Kankakee. The bill would provide funding for a proposed natural gas pipeline for the village of Hopkins Park in Pembroke Township. Supporters say the pipeline could provide economic growth for the area, but there are concerns about the environmental impact, particularly in an area that was once the largest black farming community in the northern United States. Joining us with more are Mark HODGE, he's the mayor of the village of Hopkins Park, Republican State Representative Jackie HAAS, who sponsored the bill, and Naomi Davis, the founder and president of Blacks in Green. That is a group that advocates for sustainable living in African American communities. And thank you so much for joining us. First of all, Mayor HODGE, what exactly would the pipeline do?
Well, the pipeline would bring industry to our community. It would grow our community in a way that it has not seen before, meaning it would bring jobs. Jobs would bring families to the community. Families would bring their children, and it would expand our school system, which has been depressed for quite some time, as we've been left behind for many decades. People have in Springfield have recognized that our community has been left behind, and they want to modernize our community just like every community around us has been modernized.
Naomi Davis, it sounds like the mayor's point is that it would basically catch things up, that this is a community that is, according to a spokesperson for Rainbow Push, experiencing energy poverty. How do you see it?
The representation that there will be a pipeline that will bring jobs is just a fiction. The entire South Cook County is replete with Black communities fueled by natural gas, which are experiencing economic depression right now. And how many times have Black communities heard over and over and over again that something was going to bring jobs? We are experienced enough to know, and especially those of us in the clean energy field, that there is no silver bullet that are going to bring jobs, and industry does not come to communities without broadband, without any kind of police, fire, or other protections against NICOR leaks, which are legend.
Representative Jackie HAAS, why did you think it was a project that merited your support?
Sure. So thank you, Phil. I'm a lifelong resident of Kankakee County and of this district. And I actually grew up in the neighboring town next to Pembroke Township. And this has been a decades-long issue for this community, and really for as long as I can remember. This is an initiative that was also worked on by my predecessor. And I have to tell you, I am so excited that this bill has had such wonderful bipartisan support, not just on the local level, but it was also well evidenced in both the House and in the Senate chambers, as it passed both with overwhelming bipartisan support.
Naomi Davis, the fact is that it did pass with overwhelming bipartisan support. Does that speak to the merits of the project in your mind?
Let me speak to the deceit that it represents. Really, really good people were misled in a campaign of miseducation. Southern Company and NICOR ought to be ashamed of themselves for the quality of the reporting, the community engagement, the information, the engineering, the convenings that should have been held. And we know from our experience what community engagement is. There's no evidence in any public records, and we are FOIA-ing them, that there has been any meaningful, substantial, or accurate community engagement happening over a few years process. And I'll tell you something else. It was at the 13th hour, after midnight, after the session of the legislature was officially over, that we had worked so hard and valiantly and won the opportunity to pull the bill from the roll call. There was a 13th hour deal, after many legislators had agreed that it was not the right thing at the right time and that renewable energy in Pembroke was the way to go. Look, let me show you something. Renewable Pembroke. There is a campaign, and there has been a campaign for a long time against pipelines in Pembroke. We are not stopping. We're going to the governor. We are expecting to request an amendatory veto because we understand the very thin margin of opinion that separates a bad bill, a good bill, and its passing.
Let's get the mayor back. Let's get the mayor back in this. And Mr. Mayor, describe physically what the pipeline is going to do. How big is it going to be, and it's going to connect what to what?
Well, essentially, the pipeline is going to come down our main and central avenues and give us an opportunity, just like they have in every community around us, to bring industry to the community. But first of all, I'd like to say that 97% of the people that completed surveys that live in the village of Hopkins Park in Pembroke Township, 93% said yes to natural gas.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, what I'm really asking is, how many people are going to be connected to this natural gas pipeline? How extensive is it? What are we talking about?
On the initial phase, we're looking at 400 homes. But to get back to my point, 97% of the people in the village of Hopkins Park and 93% of the people in Pembroke Township said yes to natural gas. The people that are saying no to natural gas live in Chicago, and they enjoy natural gas. And the people in Pembroke and Hopkins Park want to enjoy the same clean energy. We have used wood, fuel oil, and propane for decades. It is time to modernize this community. It is time for people that are standing in the way to move to the side. The people in Springfield, the House, and the floor clearly understand that we have been held back, intentionally or not. We have been, and they understand that we needed to move forward. The representatives tried to pull this bill at the last minute of the last hour, where we had to have 60 votes before 12 o'clock. They made sure the bill was called after 12 o'clock when 71 votes were needed.
Inaccurate.
Excuse me. Let's not get into the weeds on that one. Naomi Davis, as we mentioned, this was once the largest black farming community in the northern United States. What are the potential implications for African American farmers in the area?
It is a globally rare 3-biome ecology in Pembroke, which farmers for hundreds of years have been actively and intentionally conserving against the intrusions, 4 times resisting a gas pipeline coming to the community. We understand that there are 24 documented cases of NICOR gas leaks at a $500 million cost. There was an expose on WCIA TV that clearly pointed out the clear and present danger. NICOR is under investigation by the Illinois Attorney General's Office for safety incursions. And so when we talk about what we know about conserving the land, we are talking about a culture that is looking to continue its traditions. It's the longest continuously occupied African founded town in the state of Illinois, an underground railroad stronghold, a leading black farming stronghold in the country. And by the way, the gerrymandering of the votes, and frankly, it's insulting that every time Mayor HODGE speaks, he has a different statistic that he cites for how many people voted. And a Representative HAAS herself admitted on the call that she was adjusting.
Excuse me, Ms. Davis, we're almost out of time. We're almost out of time, and I'd like to get Representative HAAS in here for the closing comment. The bill is on the governor's desk. Are you confident that the governor is going to sign it?
I am confident that the governor will sign it. This is a great bill. It's a great thing for this community. This community has been asking for this, and they've been waiting for this utility service for decades. And to ask them to wait any longer, you know, let's be honest, they've been waiting long enough, and it would be a disservice to this community, and would only marginalize them any further. To continue to make them
marginalizes them.
There have been no deals made in this bill to get it onto the governor's desk. And I do feel confident that he will do the right thing and sign this.
And that's where we'll have to leave it. Naomi Davis, Representative Jackie HAAS, and Mayor Mark Hodge, we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you.
Future of gas
Thank
in
you.
Illinois.